Every family has a golden child and a wall. Guess which one I was? My sister Michelle got the looks, the attention, and the excuse for every bad decision she'd ever made. I got decent grades, a tech job, and the privilege of being the responsible one, which in my family was code for the one we call when we need money. 5:47 p.m. Sunday dinner at Uncle Robert's house. 30 people around a table that cost more than my first car. Crystal glasses, cloth napkins, the whole performance. I was eating Grandma's mashed potatoes. Only reason I came to these things anymore. She'd been making them the same way for 40 years. Butter, cream, a little garlic. Perfect every time. Uncle Robert tapped his glass. The room went quiet. Uncle Robert was 64, built like a refrigerator, and had the personality of a debt collector. He'd started Chen Construction with a pickup truck and a temper. Now he owned 3 houses, a boat, and the unspoken right to run everyone's life. He stood at the head of the table like he was addressing shareholders. Family announcement. I kept eating. Uncle Robert's announcements were usually about himself. New property, new car, new reason to remind us he was successful. Michelle's having some trouble. I didn't look up. Michelle's trouble was a permanent condition. Her car payment. She needs help. I took another bite. Not my problem. Then I felt it. 30 pairs of eyes. All turning toward me. Not toward Uncle Robert with his 3 houses. Not toward my parents. Not toward any of the aunts and uncles who'd spent decades pretending to be successful. Toward me. The so-called wall. Uncle Robert cleared his throat. Kevin, you're doing well, aren't you? Good job at that tech company. No kids, no mortgage, no debt. I set down my fork. You should help your sister. There it was. Like I was a vending machine he was punching in the code. What kind of help? I asked. Already knew the answer. Already hated it. Her monthly payment of $2,500 until she gets back on her feet. Back on her feet. Michelle had been getting back on her feet since she was 19. She was 25 now, still stumbling. How much is the payment? Michelle shifted in her seat, stared at her wine glass like it held the secrets of the universe. Uncle Robert answered for her. $2,500. I blinked. $2,500 monthly. It's a BMW, Michelle said quickly. I need it for work. You work part-time at Nordstrom. It's 10 miles from my apartment. 10 miles. In a BMW 535i. With a $2,500 payment. She crossed her arms. It's reliable. I almost laughed. A Honda Civic is reliable. A Toyota Camry is reliable. A BMW 535i is a status symbol you can't afford on a part-time salary. Mom cut in. Soft voice. Peacemaker tone. The one she used when she wanted me to shut up and write a check. Honey, she didn't know the payments would be this hard. What's the interest rate? Silence. Michelle. What's the interest rate on the loan? She mumbled something into her wine. Louder. 9%. 9%. On a car loan in 2024. When everyone else was getting 4 or 5. That wasn't a loan. That was a punishment. I looked at my parents. You co-signed this? Dad suddenly found his mashed potatoes fascinating. Mom examined the ceiling like there was a Monet up there. You co-signed a 9% loan on a $60,000 car for someone working 15 hours a week at a discount clothing store. She needed transportation, Dad said weakly. She needed a bus pass. Uncle Robert's voice cut through. Hard. Final. The voice he probably used on contractors who were late on jobs. Family helps family. That's how we do things. Always has been. I looked at him. Really looked. Robert Chen. 3 houses. Boat at the marina. Vacation property in Lake Tahoe. Construction company worth $8 million, give or take. And he was asking me, the guy in a 1-bedroom apartment with a 10-year-old Honda, to pay his niece's car note. You've got 3 houses, I said. Why don't you help her? The room went cold. Aunt Patricia, Robert's wife, sucked in a breath like I just spit on the floor. Nobody talked back to Robert. Not at his table, not in his house, not ever. Robert's face changed. That uncle knows best smile he always wore? Gone, replaced by something harder. I've helped this family plenty. College funds, medical bills, Christmas bonuses. You think any of you would be where you are without me? I'm where I am because I went to state school on scholarships and worked 60-hour weeks for 6 years. You didn't give me anything. I gave you opportunities, connections. The Chen name means something in this city. The Chen name didn't get me my job. My GitHub portfolio did. He set down his glass. Slowly. Like a judge reaching for a gavel. You'll cover the payments, $2,500 monthly, until Michelle gets back on her feet. Part of me wanted to laugh. Part of me wanted to flip the table. Instead, I said, no. Excuse me? I said no. She bought a car she can't afford. She can sell it. Buy something reasonable. Learn how money works. She'll lose money on the sale. She'll lose more making payments she can't sustain on a depreciating asset. That's how underwater loans work. Michelle stood up. I can't believe you. You're my brother. I'm your brother, not your piggy bank. Uncle Robert's voice dropped. Quiet now. The dangerous kind of quiet. Let me be clear. You refuse to help your own family and you're out. Out of what? Everything. Dinners, holidays, the family. You walk away from this. Don't bother coming back. The room held its breath. I looked around the table. 30 people. Aunts, uncles, cousins, parents. Mom was staring at her hands. Dad was studying his plate. Michelle was glaring at me like I'd personally burned down her apartment. Grandma, 83 years old, barely 5 feet tall, was watching me from the corner. Not with judgment, with something else. Understanding. She'd been quiet this whole time. First time I could remember her not jumping into family drama. I looked back at Uncle Robert. You're giving me an ultimatum. Pay $2,500 a month for my sister's BMW, or lose my family. I'm telling you how things work. No, you're telling me the price of admission. I stood up. The chair scraped against the hardwood. Loud in silence. Then I'm out. Michelle's jaw dropped. You're serious? Completely. I walked toward the kitchen. Set my plate in the sink. Grandma's mashed potatoes, half finished. That hurt more than anything else. Walked back through the dining room, grabbed my keys. Uncle Robert's voice followed me. You walk out that door, don't come back. I opened the door. Wasn't planning to. Cold February air. Clean. Sharp. I walked to my car. 2019 Honda. Accord, paid off. 127,000 miles. Not a status symbol, just transportation. Started the engine, drove away, didn't look back. Got home at 7:23 p.m. Sat on my couch, stared at the wall, expected to feel something. Anger, sadness, relief, vindication. Felt nothing. Just empty. Like I'd been carrying something heavy for years and finally set it down, but my arms still ached from the weight. I opened my laptop. Old habit. When I don't know what to feel, I calculate. New spreadsheet. Title. Family financial history. Started typing. Dad's medical bills. Diabetes medication. Insurance gap. I'd been sending $400 monthly for 2 years. Never discussed. Just expended. 24 months, X $400, $9,600. Cousin Tyler's textbooks. Pre-med at UC Davis. Books cost a fortune. $600 per semester for 3 years. 6 semesters, $600, $3,600. Grandma's property tax, fixed income. Social Security and Grandpa's pension didn't cover everything. $1,200 annually for 5 years. 5 years, X $1,200, $6,000. Michelle's previous emergencies. The laptop that got stolen, $1,200. Security deposit when she moved, $2,400. Credit card debt from that one bad month, $3,200. Dentist bill, $1,200. Total, $8,000. Never repaid, never mentioned again. Family vacation fund. Mom's idea. Everyone contributes. I'd put in $2,000 annually for 5 years. We'd never taken a single trip. I ran the total. $9,600, $3,600, $6,000, $8,000, $10,000, $37,200, $37,200 over 5 years. What did I receive? Thank you cards. Sometimes. Expectations. Always. And tonight? An ultimatum. My phone buzzed. Text from mom. Please call. We need to talk about what happened. Another buzz. Dad. Son, don't be rash. Family is everything. Another. Michelle. I can't believe you did this to me. Over a car. Another. Uncle Robert. You made your choice, remember that. I turned my phone face down, made coffee, sat by the window, city lights, cars passing, people living their lives. None of them knew that my family had just priced my membership at $2,500 per month. I'd been the quiet one, the reliable one, the one who showed up with money and didn't ask questions. Maybe that was the problem. Maybe quiet meant invisible. Maybe reliable meant expendable. My phone kept buzzing. I didn't look. Tomorrow I'd figure out what to do. Tonight, I just sat with the number. $37,200. That's what family cost. And apparently, it still wasn't enough. Monday, 6:47 a.m. Someone at my door. I checked the peephole. Still half asleep. Brain not working yet. Dad. Standing there with 2 coffees, staring at my door like he could will it open with disappointment. He'd driven 45 minutes before dawn on a workday. This wasn't an apology. This was an ambush. I stepped back from the people. Quiet. Didn't want him to know I was watching. He knocked. Waited. Knocked again. Kevin, I know you're in there. Your car's in the lot. I held my breath. I brought coffee. The good kind. From that place you like. Still nothing. Please, just 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. 5 minutes. That's how it always started. 5 minutes turned into an hour. An hour turned into a guilt trip. A guilt trip turned into a check. Not today. Kevin, your mother's been crying all night. She didn't sleep. Neither did I. Good. Maybe next time they'd think before co-signing a $60,000 loan for someone who worked 15 hours a week. Son, please. His voice cracked. Something twisted in my chest. 28 years of conditioning. 28 years of being the good son, the helpful brother, the family ATM. I almost opened the door. Almost. Then I remembered the dinner. 30 people staring at me. Uncle Robert's ultimatum, Michelle's entitlement, Mom and Dad silent, letting it happen. I walked to my bedroom, put in earbuds, started a podcast about market trends, drowned out the knocking. 20 minutes later, I checked again. Gone. But he'd left both coffees by my door. I didn't drink them. Week 1 was strange. I kept reaching for my phone to check the family group chat. Muscle memory. Years of conditioning. Then I'd remember I'd left it. The silence should have felt peaceful. Instead, it felt like standing in an empty room where furniture used to be. You know something's missing. You just can't stop looking at the spaces. Work helped. Co didn't have feelings. Co didn't guilt trip you. Co did exactly what you told it to do. Jamie texted on Wednesday. Cousin Jamie. Aunt Linda's son. 24 years old. The only one in that family who'd never asked me for money. Dude, what happened Sunday? Everyone's losing their minds. I typed back. Uncle Robert gave me an ultimatum. Pay Michelle's $2,500 monthly BMW payment or leave the family. I left. 3 dots. Disappeared. Appeared again. $2,500 for a car? She works at Nordstrom Rack. I know. That's insane. Like actually insane. I know. For what it's worth, I think you did the right thing. I stared at that message. First person to say it. First person in a week. Thanks, Jamie. Uncle Robert's telling everyone you're having a mental breakdown. Says you need intervention. Mental breakdown? Because I said no? Keep me posted on what they're saying. Got it. And hey, sorry, this family's messed up. Yeah, it is. Week 2. Thursday, 8:15 p.m. Knock at my door. People check. Mom, red eyes, tissue in hand. The expensive coat she only wore to church in funerals. Kevin, please, I'm begging you. I stood on my side of the door, close enough to hear, far enough to stay safe. Kevin, I know you're there. I can see your shadow. Busted. I leaned against the wall, didn't open it. Can we at least talk? Through the door? We're talking. Please, just let me explain. Explain what? How you sat there while Uncle Robert demanded I pay $30,000 a year for Michelle's bad decisions? How you didn't say a word when he threw me out of the family? We were shocked. You were complicit. Silence. That's not fair, Kevin. What's not fair is being the family wallet for 5 years and getting an ultimatum when I finally say no. We never thought of you as a wallet. Really? Then why was I the only one asked to pay? No answer. Uncle Robert has 3 houses. You and Dad have savings. Aunt Linda just renovated her kitchen. But I'm the one who's supposed to cover Michelle's BMW? She's your sister. She's an adult who made a bad decision. That's not my responsibility. Family helps family, Kevin. I laughed. Couldn't help it. Yeah, I've heard that one before. Usually right before someone asks me for money. That's cruel. No, Mom. Cruel is raising a glass at Sunday dinner and watching your son get kicked out of his family because he won't be an ATM. That's cruel. I heard her crying. Part of me wanted to open the door, hold her, tell her it was okay, go back to being the good son who kept the peace and wrote the checks. But I was tired. So tired of being the one who gave and gave and gave while everyone else just took. Go home, Mom. Kevin, there's nothing left to say. I walked away from the door, heard her crying for another 5 minutes, then silence. When I checked the peephole, she was gone. That night I couldn't sleep, kept replaying the conversation, kept hearing her crying. 3 a.m., sitting in my kitchen. Coffee I didn't need. What if I was wrong? What if I was being too hard on them? What if this was just how families worked and I was the one who didn't understand? I pulled out my phone, scrolled to Mom's number, almost called. Then I opened the spreadsheet instead. $37,200. 5 years of payments. 5 years of helping. 5 years of being reliable. And the one time I said no, the one time I was the villain. That's not how family was supposed to work. That's how exploitation worked. I closed the phone, went back to bed. Didn't sleep, but at least I stopped doubting. Week 3. Jamie text. Family meeting happened yesterday. You were discussed. What did they say? Uncle Robert declared you dead to the family. His words. Said anyone who contacts you is choosing sides against him. Dead to the family. Like I was a stock they've decided to sell. What about my parents? Your dad looked sick. Your mom cried. But neither of them pushed back. Of course not. Michelle? Said you were always cold and this proves it. Said she dodged a bullet having a brother like you. I read that twice. Michelle. Who I'd bailed out 4 times. Who I'd never once criticized to her face. Who I'd sent $8,000 over the years without ever asking for payback. I was the colder one. Okay. Thanks for the update, Jamie. There's more. Uncle Robert posted something in the group chat. About you. What? Screenshot came through. Kevin has shown us who he really is. A selfish, ungrateful. The Chen family will continue without him. Those who want to remain part of this family know where they stand. I stared at that message for a long time. Selfish. Ungrateful. The man with 3 houses was calling me selfish. The man who demanded I pay $30,000 a year was calling me ungrateful. The man who gave me an ultimatum was saying I put money above family. Something shifted inside me. The doubt from 3 a.m. Gone. Replaced by something colder. Cleaner. Clarity. If this was who they were, if this was how they saw me, then I hadn't lost a family. I'd escaped one. Week 3. Friday. Email from Michelle. Subject. We need to talk. I opened it. Kevin, I know you're angry. I get it. But you don't understand my situation. The BMW was a mistake. I admit it. But I can't just sell it. I'm underwater on the loan. I owe more than it's worth. If you would just help me for a few months, just until I get a better job, I could figure this out. I'm not asking for forever. You're my brother. You're supposed to be there for me. Please, Michelle. She admitted the BMW was a mistake. Progress. But she still wanted me to pay for it. Not progress. I typed a reply. Michelle, you're underwater because you bought a $60,000 car at 9% interest on a part-time salary. That's not a situation. That's a consequence. Here's what you can do. 1. Sell the BMW, take the loss. 2. Buy a used car, $8,000 or less. 3. Get a full-time job. 4. Create a budget. None of these require my money. Kevin. Sent. 30 seconds later, my phone exploded. Text from Michelle. Are you serious right now? Then, you're going to lecture me about money? Then, at least I have a life. You just work and save like some robot. Then, no wonder you're single. I muted the contact. Went back to work. Week 4. Text from Jamie. You sitting down? Why? Michelle's car got repossessed. I set down my coffee. When? Yesterday morning, 7 a.m. Repo truck. She was in pajamas. Neighbors saw everything. How many payments did she miss? 3. Found out from my mom. Michelle was behind before the dinner. 3 payments. At $2,500 each. $7,500. Plus late fees. Plus interest. She'd been drowning for months. Uncle Robert knew. My parents knew. Everyone knew. And their solution was to make it my problem. How's she handling it? Moved back in with her parents, posting on Instagram about being abandoned by family. I almost laughed. She'd missed 3 payments before anyone even asked me for help. The car was getting repossessed regardless of what I did. But somehow, I was the one who abandoned her. Let me know if anything else happens. Will do. I went back to work. Michelle lost her BMW. I felt nothing. Week 4, Saturday, email from an address I didn't recognize. Subject, from your grandmother. I opened it. Kevin, Mrs. Patterson helped me write this email. I don't understand computers, but she says you'll get it. I've been thinking about you all week, about what happened at dinner, about what Robert did. He was wrong. I told him so. He didn't appreciate it. I told him to go to hell in Cantonese so Patricia couldn't understand. Mrs. Patterson says I shouldn't write that, but I'm 83 and I can say what I want. You're allowed to say no. You're allowed to have boundaries. You're allowed to stop giving to people who only take. I don't know if I'll see you again. Robert says anyone who contacts you is choosing sides. I'm choosing my grandson. Call me when you're ready. No pressure. I love you. Grandma P.S. I saved you mashed potatoes from Sunday. They're in my freezer. Come get them sometime. I read it 3 times. Printed it. First piece of paper I'd printed in months. Folded it. Put it in my wallet. One person in that entire family who saw me as more than a wallet. That was enough. Week 5. Something strange happened. I stopped thinking about them every day. Work was busy. Good projects. A promotion opportunity coming up. Life continued. The space where my family used to be started to feel less like a wound and more like just space. Empty, but not painful. Jamie texted occasionally. Updates from the family. Uncle Robert told everyone you'd come crawling back eventually. Michelle's looking for a job. Actually looking this time. Your dad asked about you at dinner. Uncle Robert shut him down. I read the updates, filed them away, kept moving. $2,500 went into my investment account. First transfer. If they wanted me to pay that much for family membership, I'd pay myself instead. Started looking at real estate listings. Just for fun. Just to dream. Funny thing about money you don't give away. It adds up. Week 6. Text from unknown number. Hey, it's Derek, cousin Derek. Jamie gave me your number. Hope that's okay. Derek, Aunt Linda's oldest son. 34. Quiet. Never said much at family dinners. Never never asked me for anything. Yeah, it's okay. What's up? Just wanted to say, I think you were right. About all of it. Uncle Robert's been running this family like a dictator for 20 years. You're the first person who ever told him no. A lot of good it did me. More than you think. Some of us are watching, taking notes. You showed us it's possible to leave. I stared at that message. You thinking about it? Maybe. Haven't decided yet. But knowing someone else did it first helps. Good luck, whatever you decide. Thanks. And Kevin, you're better off without them, even if it doesn't feel like it yet. I saved that message too. 2 people now. Jamie, Derek. Not a family, but a start. Month 2. Jamie text. Michelle's Instagram is on fire. You need to see this. I'd been avoiding social media. Nothing good ever came from watching people perform their feelings for an audience. But curiosity won. I opened Instagram. Found Michelle's profile, video. Her sitting in my parents' living room, crying. I just want everyone to know what's really happening. My brother Kevin, who I've always loved and supported, has abandoned our family. He refused to help me when I needed him most. And now I'm living with my parents, with no car, trying to figure out how to even get to work. I don't know what I did to deserve this. I've always tried to be a good sister. But apparently, money matters more to him than family. So if you're watching this, Kevin, I hope you're happy. I hope your savings account keeps you warm at night. Because you've lost something you'll never get back. Me? Video ended. 4,000 views. 200 comments. Top comments. So sorry, girl. Your brother sounds toxic. Cut him off. You deserve better, queen. Prayers for you. I read through the comments. Every single one. Looking for anyone who asked questions. Anyone who wondered about the other side of the story. Nothing. Just an echo chamber of support for a narrative that was missing most of the facts. Part of me wanted to comment. Set the record straight. Explain that she'd bought a car she couldn't afford, missed 3 payments before asking for help, and that our uncle had given me an ultimatum. But what would that accomplish? She'd delete it. Her followers would attack me. And I'd look petty for fighting with my sister online. No. Better to stay silent. Let her have her story. The truth would come out eventually. It always did. I screenshot the video anyway. Sent it to Jamie. Saw it. You going to respond? No? Probably smart. She's in victim mode. Anything you say will be used against you. I know. For what it's worth, some of us know the real story. Some of us is enough. Month 2, week 3, Thursday evening, knock at my door. I checked the peephole, expecting mom again. Or maybe dad for round 2. Grandma, 83 years old, barely 5 feet tall, holding a Tupperware container. I opened the door immediately. Grandma. Kevin. She smiled. That warm smile that had never changed in 28 years. Can I come in? I stepped aside. How did you get here? Uber. Mrs. Patterson showed me the app. You took an Uber from Fremont? That's almost 2 hours. Nice driver. Ethiopian gentleman. We talked about his daughter's college applications. I shook my head. You should have called. I would have picked you up. You weren't answering calls. Fair point. She looked around my apartment. Small, clean, sparse. Nice place. Very you. Thanks. She handed me the Tupperware. Mashed potatoes from the freezer. Finally brought them. I took it. Heavier than it looked. I'll make tea. Earl Grey, if you have it. I had it. Bought specifically because she liked it. Never told her that. We sat at my small kitchen table. Afternoon light through the window. 2 cups of tea between us. Your mother's a mess, Grandma said. Crying every few hours, not eating much. No. Your father pretends everything's fine, which means he's barely holding together. Also noted, Michelle is telling everyone you ruined her life. Saw the Instagram. Grandma sipped her tea. She's wrong. You know that. I do. She bought a car she couldn't afford. Missed 3 payments. expected you to fix it. That's not your job. I know. Robert was wrong to give you an ultimatum. She set down her cup. I told him so. He called me soft. Said I was enabling your tantrum. And what did you say? Her eyes sparkled. I told him to go to hell in Cantonese, so Patricia couldn't understand. I laughed. First real laugh in weeks. You didn't. I did. 83 years old. I can say what I want. Something loosened in my chest. Something I'd been carrying without realizing it. Kevin. Her voice softened. You're allowed to say no. You're allowed to have boundaries. You're allowed to stop giving to people who only take. I know. But I'm worried about you. I'm fine. Are you? I looked at my grandmother. Small, frail, strongest person in that entire family. I don't know, I admitted. I thought I'd feel something. Relief, anger, vindication. But mostly I just feel empty. She nodded. That's grief. Grief? You lost your family, Kevin. Not because they passed, because you finally saw them clearly. That's its own kind of death. I didn't have words for that. I'm not here to convince you to go back, she continued. You're a grown man. You make your own choices. But I want you to know, whatever happens with them, you still have me. My throat tightened. Thanks, Grandma. She finished her tea. Now, call me an Uber. I need to get home before Jeopardy. I'll drive you. You don't have to. I want to. She looked at me. Really looked. The way she always had. Like she could see the kid I used to be underneath all the adult armor. Okay, but we're stopping for drive-thru. I want a McFlurry. Deal. Drove her home, got her McFlurry, walked her to her door. She hugged me at the threshold, longer than usual. Take care of yourself, Kevin. Call me more. I will. Promise? Promise. She went inside. I drove home. 2 hours of empty freeway and thinking. She was right. This was grief. I'd lost the fantasy. The one I'd been holding on to since childhood. The fantasy that if I just worked hard enough, helped enough, gave enough, they'd finally see me. Finally appreciate me. Finally love me the way I wanted to be loved. But they didn't. They saw a wallet. And when the wallet said no, they threw it away. Month 3. Saturday morning. Text from Jamie. You sitting down? What now? Uncle Robert had a heart attack. I stared at the screen. When? Last night. 2 a.m. Aunt Patricia found him on the bathroom floor. He's at Kaiser Fremont. Stable but serious. I set down my phone, made coffee, sat by the window. The man who threw me out of the family, who called me selfish, who declared me dead to them. Now in a hospital bed. I waited to feel something. Satisfaction, guilt, concern, nothing, just neutral. Like reading news about a stranger. Monday, Mom called. I let it go to voicemail. Kevin, your uncle is in the hospital. He had a heart attack. He's asking for you, please. Whatever happened between you, he's family. He might not, just please come. Kaiser Fremont, ICU. He's asking for you. The man who kicked me out. Now asking for you. I deleted the voicemail, made more coffee. Tuesday. Dad texted. Son, Robert might be gone. He wants to apologize. Please be the bigger person. Be the bigger person. I've been the bigger person for years. $37,200 worth of bigger person. And the one time I wasn't, I became the villain. Didn't respond. Wednesday. Mom showed up at my door. I saw her through the people. Same coat, more tissue. Kevin, please? He's asking for you. He's scared. He thinks he's going to pass away. I stood on my side of the door. He can write a letter. Kevin, I'm not coming. He could breathe one's last. Then he should have thought about that before giving me an ultimatum. Silence. How can you be so cold? I learned from the best. I heard her crying. Walked away. Didn't look back. That night. 3 a.m. again. Sitting in my kitchen. What if he passed away? What if the last thing between us was that dinner? That ultimatum. Would I regret not going? I didn't know. Part of me said yes. He was still my uncle, still family, still the man who taught me to ride a bike when I was 7. Part of me said no. He'd had 3 months to apologize, 3 months to pick up the phone, 3 months to be the bigger person himself. He hadn't. Now he was dying, and suddenly, it was my responsibility to make things right. No. Deathbed apologies weren't apologies. They were fear. Fear of dying without closure. Fear of facing consequences. Fear of being remembered as the villain. That wasn't my problem. He made his choice at that dinner. I made mine. Month 3. Week 4. Jamie text. Robert's out of ICU, stable. Going home next week. Good. You didn't visit. No. Family's pissed. I know. For what it's worth, I get it. He had 3 months to apologize. He didn't. You don't owe him a deathbed reconciliation. Thanks, Jamie. Derek says the same thing. We talked about it. 2 people. 2 people who understood. Still not a family, but still enough. Month 4. Text from Jamie. Interesting development. What? Michelle got a job. Part-time? Full-time. Office admin at a law firm downtown. $52K. Benefits. I raised an eyebrow. $52,000. More than she'd ever made. How'd that happen? No idea, but she starts Monday. Maybe losing the car was the best thing that could have happened. Maybe rock bottom was exactly where she needed to be. Good for her. Seriously? Seriously. If she turns this around, good for her. Damn, that's surprisingly mature. I'm not angry at her, Jamie. I'm just done subsidizing her. Month 5. Another text from Jamie. Michelle bought a car. Let me guess. Another BMW? 2019 Honda Civic. Used, $14,000. Put $4,000 down. Payments are $280 a month. $280, not $2,500. $280. Smart choice. Right? She's actually being responsible. It's weird. Crisis does that to people sometimes. You think she's changed? I think she's learning. Whether she's actually changed, that takes longer to prove. Month 6. Letter arrived. Handwritten. Familiar handwriting. Blue ink on cream paper. Grandma. Dear Kevin, I'm writing because I'm too old for texting and too stubborn for email, despite Mrs. Patterson's many lessons. Robert is recovering, slowly. He's different now, quieter. Sits on his porch watching birds. Doesn't bark orders anymore. The heart attack humbled him. He hasn't mentioned you since you didn't come to the hospital. I think he's ashamed. Too proud to apologize properly. Too humbled to pretend he was right. Your parents miss you. They won't say it, Robert's decree and all, but they do. Your father keeps setting an extra place at the table, then remembers, then quietly removes it. Michelle is doing better. The job suits her. She pays her own bills now. I think losing everything was the wake-up call she needed. I'm not writing to ask you to come back. That's your choice, and I respect it. I'm writing to tell you. I think about you every day. I pray for you every night. And I hope you're finding peace. You deserved better from this family. We failed you. I failed you too. By not speaking up sooner. By not calling Robert out years ago when he first started thinking he owned everyone. That's my regret. One of many. Take care of yourself. Build a good life. And know that at least one person sees you clearly. All my love, Grandma P.S. Mrs. Patterson says you should call your grandmother more often. She's right. I read it 4 times, folded it carefully. Put it with the first one. 2 letters now. 2 pieces of evidence that family could mean something more than obligation. Month 7. Thanksgiving. First one without the family. Jamie invited me to his place. Small apartment. Different crowd. Just friends, he'd said. Chosen family. No drama, no ultimatums. I brought expensive wine. The kind I could afford now that I wasn't funding everyone else's lives. 7 people total. Jamie and his girlfriend. 2 co-workers. A neighbor. Derek, who'd driven up from San Jose. We cooked together. Burned the rolls. Laughed about it. Watched football. Argued about the calls. Ate too much. Sat around afterward, drowsy and content. No announcements, no guilt trips, no one asking me to fund their bad decisions. Just food, friends, football. The way Thanksgiving was supposed to be. After everyone left, I helped Jamie clean up. Good day? He asked. Best Thanksgiving I've had in years. Better than 30 people staring at you while Uncle Robert demands money? Slightly, he laughed. You know what's funny? I used to dread family holidays. Thought that was just how it was. Now I know it doesn't have to be. Now you know. Thanks for that. For what? For leaving. For showing the rest of us it was possible. I didn't know what to say to them. So I just kept washing dishes. New Year's Eve. Party at Derek's place in San Jose. Different crowd. Mostly his friends. A few faces I recognized from Thanksgiving. Counted down with strangers who were starting to feel like something more. Midnight. Fireworks. Hugs all around. My phone buzzed. Text from unknown number. Happy New Year, Kevin. I hope this year brings you everything you deserve. I'm sorry for what happened. For my part in it. For not being better. Maybe someday we can talk. No pressure. Just wanted you to know. Michelle. I stared at the message. Michelle. First contact in 7 months that wasn't an attack. First time she'd ever apologized. Ever. I didn't respond. But I didn't delete it either. Saved it. Put the phone away. Watch the fireworks. Year 1. March. My birthday. 29. Nobody from the old family called. But Jamie organized dinner. His place again. Derek came up from San Jose. A few coworkers. My neighbor from down the hall. Small, simple, perfect. Jamie's toast. To Kevin, who taught us that no is a complete sentence. I blew out the candles. Made a wish. Didn't tell anyone what it was. Year 1, April. Found it. $340,000. Sacramento. 3 bedrooms. Nice neighborhood. Lemon tree in the backyard. I'd been saving since the dinner. $2,500 monthly that used to go to family. Plus the medical payments, the textbooks, the vacation fund that never went anywhere. $72,000 in savings by the time I found the house. 20% down. $68,000. Pulled the trigger, signed the papers, got the keys, stood in my empty living room. First home I'd ever owned. No furniture yet, no decorations. Just afternoon light through clean windows and the smell of possibility. I laughed out loud. Couldn't help it. Single guy, 29, homeowner. Not because of family connections, not because of inheritance, not because someone handed me anything, because I'd finally stopped giving away everything I earned. Housewarming party. May. 12 people. My new backyard. Jamie brought a beanbag, bright orange, hideous, perfect. Derek brought whiskey, the expensive kind. Coworkers brought food, neighbors brought curiosity, Grandma brought herself. She'd taken an Uber again, 2 hours from Fremont, 83 years old. You didn't have to come all this way, I said. Nonsense. My grandson bought a house. Of course I'm seeing it. I gave her the tour. Living room, kitchen, 3 bedrooms, backyard with the lemon tree. She touched the walls, looked out every window, sat in every chair. This is yours, she said. Not a question. All mine. No mortgage? Small one, put 20% down. Wanted to keep reserves. She nodded. Smart. Your grandfather would be proud. That hit harder than I expected. Grandpa Chen? Draw her last breath when I was 12. Worked in a factory for 40 years. Never complained. Never asked for anything. Just built. Just provided. Just showed up. I'd forgotten I was trying to be like him. Thanks, Grandma. She squeezed my hand. Now show me the lemon tree. I need to see if it's real. It was real. She picked a lemon right off the branch. Good soil, she said, approving. Party wound down around 9 p.m. Jamie and Derek helped clean up. Grandma fell asleep on the couch, snoring softly. She's something else, Derek said. Only good thing about that family. Not the only thing. He looked at me. You came from them. You turned out okay. Debatable. You bought a house at 29 by learning to say no. That's not debatable. That's impressive. It's just math. It's more than math. It's knowing your own value. Most people never figure that out. Year 2. June. Grocery store. Saturday morning. I was in the produce section, picking avocados. The eternal California ritual. Someone walked past, stopped, walked back. I looked up. Michelle. She looked different. Hair shorter. Better posture. Clothes that fit properly, not designer, just put together. We stared at each other. 2 years since the dinner. 2 years since, then I'm out. Kevin, she said. Michelle? Other shoppers moved around us, unaware of the history standing in the produce aisle. You look good, she said. Thanks, so do you. I heard you bought a house. Yeah. Sacramento? Yeah. She nodded, gripped her cart like it was keeping her anchored. I'm sorry, she said, for everything. I waited. The BMW was stupid. Asking you to pay was stupid. The Instagram stuff was stupid. All of it. Yeah, it was. I was embarrassed, scared, took it out on you. Yeah, you did. She didn't flinch. Took it. Didn't make excuses. I'm doing better now. Full-time job, Honda Civic, actual savings. Good. Therapist too, working through stuff. That's good, Michelle, really. Silence. I'm not asking to come back into your life, she said. I know I burned that bridge. You did. I just wanted you to know that I see it now. What I did. What we all did. I looked at my sister. 25 when we started. 27 now. 2 years older. Decades wiser. I appreciate you saying that. Do you think we could ever... I don't know, Michelle, honestly. She nodded. Eyes wet, but not crying. That's fair. It's not about punishment. It's about trust. Trust takes time. I know. Maybe someday, not now. Okay. She started to walk away, stopped, turned back. Kevin? Yeah. I told people I cut you off. After everything. Told them you were toxic and I walked away. I knew. Jamie had told me. I know. I'm sorry for that too. It was easier than admitting the truth. Which is that I was the toxic one, and you finally stopped enabling it. She walked away. I stood there holding an avocado. Didn't know what to feel. Drove home. Unpacked groceries. Sat in my backyard, under the lemon tree. Thought about Michelle. She'd changed. Genuinely, it seemed. The therapy, the job, the civic, the apology. Did that mean I had to let her back in? No? Did that mean I could, eventually? Maybe. Grandma's words. People change. Not always. Not completely. But sometimes. Michelle might be one of the sometimes. Or she might not. Either way, it was my choice now. Not an ultimatum. A choice. Year 2. September. Jamie visited for a weekend. Grilled steaks, drank beer, watched football. Sunday morning, over coffee. Uncle Robert's doing worse. Health? General decline. 66 now. Doesn't leave the house much. Sad. You mean that? Yeah. He was wrong about a lot. But he's still a person. Still my uncle. Would you go to the funeral? I thought about it. I don't know. Depends on whether they'd even want me there. They would. Your parents talk about you all the time. My parents? Yeah. The family's different now. Quieter. Less drama. Less Robert running everything. Sounds healthier. Maybe. Or maybe they just needed someone to finally say enough. Year 2. December. Christmas card from Grandma. Physical mail. Stamps. Her handwriting. Photo on the front. Her and Mrs. Patterson. Both smiling. Inside. Kevin. Another year. Still proud of you. Still praying for you. The family asks about you at every gathering. I tell them you're well. That's all they get. Your mother wants to write you. Hasn't found the courage. Maybe next year? Michelle came to Thanksgiving. Brought a casserole. Helped with dishes. First time in 10 years. I think you started something. Come visit when you can. The lemon tree can wait. All my love, Grandma. I put the card on my refrigerator. First family photo in my house. Only one I needed. Year 3. Standing in my kitchen. Morning light. Coffee in hand. Lemon tree visible through the window. House I bought. Money I saved. Life I built. All because I said one word. No. People ask sometimes. About the dinner. About walking out. Do you regret it? No. Do you miss them? I miss who I wanted them to be, not who they were. Would you do it differently? I'd do it sooner. What did you learn? Everything. Here's what I learned. Family will call it love when they need something. They'll call it betrayal when you say no. They'll call it selfishness when you finally build something for yourself. They'll rewrite history to make themselves the victim. And they'll wait, years, decades, lifetimes, for you to apologize for their mistakes. But real family doesn't give ultimatums, put price tags on belonging, or measure your worth by how much you're willing to sacrifice. Real family shows up without expectations, loves without conditions, respects without exceptions. Sometimes they don't. And sometimes the people you lose make room for the people you need. My sister bought a BMW she couldn't afford. Uncle gave me an ultimatum, but parents stayed silent. So I walked out. Best decision I ever made. $340,000 house. $200,000 in investments. 12 real friends. One grandmother who sees me. 0 regrets. Because no isn't a rejection. It's a complete sentence. And sometimes it's the first word of a better story.